time. And Nolan, these two are very similar things in the cinema. Let's hear it from one of the most popular directors of our time, Christopher Nolan. Time is the most cinematic of subjects because before the movie camera came along, human beings had no way of seeing time backwards, slowed down, sped up. And I think that went some way to sort of explain to me why I've been interested in exploring it in movies, because I think there's a really productive relationship. Yes, let's take a look at who is Christopher Nolan. The middle child of a family of 5, Christopher was born on July 30th, 1970 in London. Nolan, who spent his childhood years in London and Chicago, shot his first films with his father's 8mm camera when he was 7 years old. After completing his secondary education in Hertfordshire and at Haileybury and Imperial Service College, he received his BA in English Literature from University College London. During his university years, he had the opportunity to shoot many short films in the school's film club. At the age of 27, he married Emma Thomas, whom he first met at his school's movie club. Nolan worked as a cameraman on photojournalist Daniel Dan's African aid projects in the early 1990s. This adventure continued until Dan was killed in Somalia in 1993. In 1998, he made his first movie, Following, which was about the story of a writer who follows random people, costing only $6,000. Upon the appreciation of his film, he signed with Newmarket Films and completed Memento in 2000, which would later become a cult film. The movie, starring Guy Pearce, won a Golden Globe and an Oscar for Best Screenplay. In 2002, he shot the new version of Insomnia, a Norwegian production. The movie stars Al Pacino and Robin Williams and the lead roles. In 2005, the new movie of Batman, which everyone knows, came. He was shooting his childhood hero Batman with a different structure. Batman Begins, starring Christian Bale, was very different from all Batman movies shot up until that time. Batman would have been more realistic. He said that he wanted to move away from the comic book genre and establish a real and dark world, and only have elements from the comics. The film, which deals with how the Batman character became Batman from Bruce Wayne's childhood family and fear of bats, also shaped the beginning stories that came after him. Most movies that tell the story of the emergence of superheroes made after this movie were inspired by Batman Begins. Nolan also met Hans Zimmer for this movie. Zimmer, who composed the music of Batman Begins, would achieve success by making music for almost every movie of the director after this movie until Dune. In 2006, the movie The Prestige was released in 2006. He realized the screenplay he had written with his brother Jonathan since 2001 and put it on the screen. Based on the novel of the same name by Christopher Priest, The Prestige chronicles the rivalry of two 19th century magicians starring Hugh Jackman and Christian Bale. Supporting characters Michael Caine, Scarlett Johansson, and Rebecca Hall, the film lays the groundwork for bigger surprises by using illusion shows and magic tricks as metaphors in its story. In the movie, we see what the characters are willing to sacrifice for others and how far people will go to achieve success. As the movie progresses, the story points that emerge as it enters a darker path make more sense when you watch the movie from the beginning. And maybe we've come to that iconic movie, The Dark Knight. The movie, which was released in 2008, was shown among the best superhero movies of all time, but was shown as one of the best movies of the 2000s. Even in the history of cinema, it portrays Gotham as a major crime city, showing the cops the legal system, the Cape Hero, the rich, the poor, and the criminals within. Heath Ledger, who was criticised by everyone when he was chosen for the role, became the character himself by dedicating himself to the role. Ledger, who locked himself in his hotel room and kept a diary for the role, said that he felt paranoid because of the role. He died months before the release of the movie because he took too much sleeping pills. He won the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his posthumous performance, The Joker. Performance in the movie is among the best performances in the history of cinema. Apart from this award, the film received a total of 8 Oscar nominations. The movie became the most successful comic book movie, grossing over $1 billion worldwide. It was also the first film to use an IMAX camera. Expressing that he wrote a script for Warner Brothers in 2002 about a team that planted ideas and dreams. Nolan expressed that he wanted to make this movie after Insomnia. It took 10 years to write the script, which he thought would take a few months. Fearing that the audience wouldn't understand the complex structure of the movie and the multi-layered story. The studio gave him time to make the script exactly how he wanted it. Inception was released in 2010 without completing the Batman trilogy. The cast included Leonardo DiCaprio, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Marion Cotillard, and, as always, Michael Caine. The film delves into the concept of time and dreams. He also managed to tell the emotional story of a father who wanted to see his children under philosophical and poetic themes, blending his clever screenplay with different shooting techniques and innovative vision. It ranked first on the best movies of 2010 in list of most film critics. The film was nominated for 8 Oscars and won 4 of the technical nominations. Nolan was nominated for Best Screenplay and Best Picture, with his producer wife, Hans Zimmer, received a nomination for Best Film Score. It grossed $820 million worldwide, showing that Nolan didn't need the word Batman in the title to make a financially successful movie. As time went on, the movie was seen as one of the best movies of all time and became one of our favorite movies. Concerned about returning to the Batman franchise after Inception, Nolan decided to end the series himself after writing the story that would complete the trilogy with his brother Jonathan and his writing partner in Batman movies, David Goyer. Nolan, who chose the character of Bane for the enemy of Batman, this time for the movie that was released in 2012, chose Tom Hardy, who plays one of the supporting characters in Inception, for the role. Hardy gained 20 kg for the role and spent 3 months working on fighting techniques, choosing to remake Catwoman for the big screen as the supporting villain. Nolan chose Anne Hathaway for the role. He handled the theme of fear in the first movie of the trilogy, chaos in the second movie, and pain and this last movie. Although the film was not as popular as the previous films in the series and did not show up at awards ceremonies, it continued Nolan's financial success by grossing over $1 billion after the Batman trilogy. Warner Brothers. He asked Nolan to bring back the Superman character as well. Emma only served as producer, with Nolan turning down the director's chair. He recommended Zack Snyder to direct the movie, which will take place in a different universe from his Batman movies. While Christopher Nolan was making Inception, his brother Jonathan Nolan wrote a screenplay called Interstellar. The scenario that intrigued Steven Spielberg was based on real research on interstellar travel and black holes. When Spielberg decided to make Lincoln, his older brother Christopher took the director's chair. The film starred Matthew McConaughey, Anne Hathaway, Jessica Chastain, and Michael Caine. He worked closely with physicist Kip Thorne, famous for his research on black holes, deeply processing people's feelings of regret, longing, and love as a result of his discoveries. Nolan wanted to use as many practical effects as he could in the film and mix them properly with his special effects. The film was nominated for 5 Oscars in technical fields and was awarded in the Best Special Effects category. Hans Zimmer's music was also adapted to the film. In fact, Hans Zimmer had composed the main theme of the film before the film was shot, according to Nolan's request. In 2017, Dunkirk was released about the exit of the British soldiers from France during the Second World War. Nolan commented that the film is an experimental film with almost no dialogue that will appeal to all audiences' perceptions. He also states that he was inspired by silent war films shot between 1910 and 1950. The movie starred Tom Hardy, Kenneth Branagh, Cillian Murphy, and Harry Styles. The movie was released on July 21, 2017. The film, which received positive reviews from critics, was also successful at the box office when we came to 2020. The movie, called Tenet, welcomed us in. The film cast John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Kenneth Branagh starred. Although Nolan began working on the screenplay about 6 years ago, Tenet's core ideas had been in his mind for over 20 years, and the British director had been grappling with these concepts all along. Everyone who watches it will realize that the film has a delicate balance between science fiction and scientific reality, and a lot of thought has been put into the formation of this infrastructure in simple terms. Tenet is a movie about the concept of reversal, meaning certain events are played backwards. This is evident in some scenes where the actors are speaking in reverse or moving in the opposite direction, while others are moving in the straight direction. According to rumors, Christopher Nolan did not share the script of the movie with anyone before shooting. Just before the movie, Robert Pattinson commented that his script, which he had read alone in a room, was totally untrue. When a meaningful whole is formed from the words "and this residue," which is called Sata Square in the movie, it is wrote as opportunity repository. So it means the farmer carefully guards his crop. Here the verb is tenet and means to protect. Watch over watch. In this sentence, which is completely patterned on some dialogue phenomena, the farmer represents God. As for 2023, Nolan's film Oppenheimer welcomes us. This film is about the life of Robert Oppenheimer, the inventor of the atomic bomb. The movie is based on the 2005 book American Prometheus by Kai Bird and Martin J. Sherwin. The complex storytelling that is common in Nolan's films is also evident in Oppenheimer, giving the audience plenty of material to think about and make sense of. Nolan has stated that he does not intend to work with Warner Brothers during the pandemic. When the policy of Warner Media's digital distribution channel HBO Max did not suit the successful director Nolan, he went in search of a new studio. Nolan's new studio became Universal Studios, despite all the insistence of Netflix, which hosted such giants as David Lynch, Martin Scorsese, and Alfonso Cuarón. The movie stars Cillian Murphy in the lead role. Actors such as Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr. and Matt Damon stand out in the roles. Oscar winner Ludwig Göransson composed the music for the movie. As for important information about Nolan, he is of Irish descent and is a fan of Radiohead. His 10 favourite movies are 2001, A Space Odyssey, The Black Hole, Blade Runner, Chinatown, The Hitcher, Lawrence of Arabia, James Bond, On Her Majesty's Secret Service, Star Wars, The Man Who Would Be King, Topkapi. Let's finish your video with lines from Nolan's masterpiece, The Dark Knight. Because some men aren't looking for anything logical like money. They can't be bought, bullied, reasoned, or negotiated with. Some men just want to watch the world burn.